Alright folks, welcome back to another raid video, and as usual I'm super late to the party here. We have got the new dupe system that has been announced, and I'm extremely late as per usual, but I'm very busy as you all know, so I'm just looking to make a video on my thoughts on it. I know I've been asked a lot on Discord, so this is an easier way of me getting back to everybody and letting them know my thoughts on this new dupe system. So before we do get into this as well, it's quite handy I can tie in this video with our most recent gem giveaway. So as usual, we have 540 gems times 5, I believe. Yep, 5 people can win 540 gems. All you need to do is leave your player ID in the comments below, and yes, that's all you need to do now. It's really easy because Banana Jam has kindly set up a really good system now whereby you'll actually get a notification in game if you win, so you'll know, and I think the actual notification says it's from myself if you win it, so that's really cool. It's a good system we've got set up. So again, if you want 540 gems, takes 1 minute, just quickly go in, copy and paste your player ID, it's in the raid menu, and then just post it in the comments below and I will put you in to the draw for winning 540 gems. But this has been a long ass time coming, and I was terrified to see what they would bring. There was a lot of speculation beforehand, but this is what's going to be happening. So we have the Sparring pit has had a massive upgrade. It was a pretty useless piece of content for a long time, and now it's going to be one of the most popular areas in the game, I believe. So they've actually given us like 3 different options to use duplicate champions now. So the first option here, as you can see on screen, this is just from the YouTube video, which I will link below. It's on the official raid YouTube page. Is Faction Guardians. Now, the Faction Guardians is quite an interesting one. It's almost like a Great Hall, I would say. So you go into the area, as you can see, you've got 2 out of 10, 0 out of 10, 10 out of 10 there. That's just rare, epic, and legendary. And what you have to do is you put duplicates of champions in the slots. So if we zoom forward in the video a little bit, let's see if I can find the actual areas here. There we go, so you can see it now. We have 2 Saitos here, so they will give you plus 10% HP, and as soon as you unlock them, that will move forward and you can put another 2 legendary duplicates in here and you get 10% attack all the way up to 10 speed, but you have to do each one simultaneously to unlock the last. Now I did notice here you've got the epic and rare as well. The rare is going to be super easy to do, and you're going to get a 3% speed boost for that faction specifically, because before it was all down to affinity when it came to the Great Hall, but this is faction specific. So if you have a bunch of duplicate legendaries in the Shadowkin faction, then you're going to unlock this 10 speed, which is going to be really strong. Altogether you're looking at 19 speed upgrade, which is, I mean, all of these upgrades are good, but 19 speed is a massive upgrade. That's going to be pushing a lot of people with Siphies well over 400 speed, which is going to be a bit of a nightmare. Yes, I don't know how that's going to go. They did say in the video that it's going to help the newer players as well, but somehow I don't see it, because 3 speed upgrade is okay, but when you've got the whales getting 10 speed upgrades, it's going to be quite hard to keep up with that. But all in all, I quite like the system. I like the fact that you actually have to unlock the next stage to get it, rather than picking a specific one. And yeah, I like it. I think it's actually quite a good system. On its own, I would maybe think, no, this isn't good enough, but the fact that we've got other stuff to go. But I'll give my overall view of the whole system at the end once we've covered everything in it. So the next one we're going into is the next tab, which is Champion Empowerment. Now this one is fairly self-explanatory. This was like the original way they kind of listed they were going to do this, by empowering a legendary with a duplicate of that legendary. It is only got a maximum of 4 boosts that you can get. Now they haven't actually said the stat boost that you do get. We already know we're getting a speed boost, which we don't have in the Great Hall, by the way, from the faction specific upgrades in the other tab. So that's interesting, because that speed boost does make a big difference, but it'll be interesting to see whether you get another speed boost from this as well. I personally think they shouldn't do that, because it's just going to get a bit silly then. Someone with a Siphi that's you know, got all the faction specific ones done for 19 speed plus 4 upgrades here, it's going to get a little bit too much of a void between the whales and the newer players. So hopefully they haven't done that. We'll just have to see what it is. But at least it's capped at 4. If it was infinite, it would be ridiculous, but at least it is capped at 4. The only issue, I suppose, with it being capped at 4 is the game will get to a point when this is no longer really necessary. You'll have duplicate, you know, especially the super whales, they'll have like 12 raglins, and what they're going to do with the other 8. So it's not like an infinite way to get rid of these things. But on the other hand, I suppose, if we move to the next tab, which is at the bottom here, that's the champion unbinding, we can basically see this is probably the one that I wanted for ages. I'd said for a long time they should have like a legendary fragment system where you can get rid of a duplicate into the legendary fragments and use those fragments to basically just rebuy or add to the fragments you've already collected that you maybe missed out in the past for fragment events, fusion events, and maybe past fusions, things like that. So they've basically done that. You unbind it, you get a token, and then as you can see here, we've got 6 champions to choose from. Manaya, we've got Molly. I mean, some of these are good champions. I would definitely go for Foley because I don't have a Foley. So this just basically all boils down to how many tokens are these champions going to take, because if it's like 1 coin per legendary and it's like 10 coins to buy a champion, then it seems a bit overpriced. But I would say a sweet spot would be something like maybe 4. I think that would be fair. You know, 4 duplicates into 1 of these champions seems like a fair trade to me, because you're never going to get 1 for 1. That's just not going to happen. But this gives you value, and it's not obscenely undervalued because it is still legendary, and these things cost a lot of money, as you guys know. The other option will be how often they're going to rotate this. I know they said they're going to have Sir Nicholas in it, but I think that might just be a seasonal thing. They'll maybe start putting in like Harvest Jacket, Halloween, things like that. They did mention a lot of the previous fusions and fragments will be in here, so that's really cool to see, because people that had access to them before have a big advantage over newer players, so I don't think it's overpowered to be able to bring them into the equation now. But yeah, so that is actually the whole of the new dupe system. It is probably more in depth than I thought it was going to be, and I must admit I'm pleasantly surprised. I haven't been playing this game as much recently, mainly because I've been so busy at work, but I was kind of waiting to see what this was going to do. I figured at one point this potentially could make or break the game, so I really wanted to see what was going to happen with the game, and looking at this, I don't think it's going to break the game. I think it's actually a good thing for the game. There's definite issues with it. The empowerment could be a big problem because it is going to separate the whales from the newer players even more. It just depends what the stat boosts are going to be. Yeah, we'll have to see, but in all, it's also a very difficult thing to do because they've left it this long. If you had like a duplicate system from the start, then it might have been easier to get away with, but because it's gone on for so long, it was always going to be a taboo subject, and it was going to get critiqued on every single level. And I personally think they've actually done a fairly good job, mainly because I think for once they've maybe listened, because the champion unbinding is effectively what I and loads of other content creators have been saying for ages would be a good system, but they've also added in their thing, which is the champion empowerment, and this newer thing that not many people, to be honest, suggested was the faction guardians. But when a game gets to this stage, you need power creep, because obviously if the content gets harder, you need to make your champions tougher and hit harder to actually deal with the new content. So the faction guardians is actually, in a roundabout way, a good way to just get that power creep going up for all your champions, especially on the speed front. And we're noticing with a lot of the new content, especially top Doom Tower, the speeds are pretty tough for free-to-play players to get, so it's a good way of doing it. So my take, all in all, I would say I'm happy. It's not like over the moon ecstatic best thing I've ever seen in the game, but I think for how bad this could have gone, I'm pretty happy with it. I would be super excited to see what you guys think. If you leave in the comments below all your opinions on this new duplicate system, let me know if you think it's absolutely terrible. I want to hear everything. And yeah, that's it guys. I hope you have a great day. Peace.